Hello, this is Don Downey with Forest Metrix. This is a quick video designed to walk you through the template wizard. The template wizard is a new feature that we started to guide you through setting up your primary cruise template. When you open up Forest Metrix Pro, you are looking at your primary cruise template. You can create additional templates as needed, but what most users find is they create a single template, and it's so easy to change settings, as in change from a 100% tally to a sample cruise, or change a species name or add products, that most people are just typically working from their primary template. So when we start the template wizard, it's going to go through a quick setup where you're going to indicate first what type of cruise are you going to be doing. Is this 100% tally? Are you using fixed area plots? And if so, what is the plot size? Or are you using variable radius plots? And you can indicate your basal area factor. Now note, with these, most of these pop-up menus that you see, you can edit the values. So if you have a custom basal area factor, you can enter it into that list. And we say next in the lower right. So let's set up your tree list. I'm going to set up West Virginia. Now, when I say next, I'm going to see a list of trees that the FIA believes exist in your state. And this should be everything. If not, we'll talk later about ways you can deal with that. So I'm just going to indicate a couple species that probably exist, at least in places of West Virginia. If you need to change a species name, you can just touch on that field, the keyboard comes up, and you can make these names whatever you want. If you want to stick with letter abbreviations or numeric codes or whatever you're accustomed to, you can do that. So let's just pretend that I finished my list, and I can say next. So enter the products you call and select volume rules. So you can set up to 12 products. We send it out with pulp and saw timber as defaults, but you can obviously change those. We could call it saw log and pulp wood. You could add grade logs. You could add veneer, chip and saw, whatever products are that you're typically calling. And you can assign a log rule for each. And we say next. Then we select how we are evaluating individual trees. So ignoring product names and exactly how many products you're calling, are you looking at a tree as a single product by merchantable height? Are you evaluating trees in multiple products by potentially varying lengths? So say I have 8 feet of prime, 16 feet of saw, and 24 feet of pulp. Are you calling every single 16-foot segment saw, pulp, pulp, or are you calling every 8-foot segment prime, saw, saw, pulp, 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 pulp? Lastly, you could be doing a dot tally. That's a totally different setup that we'll cover in a different video. For now, we're going to leave it on multiple products because that's our most commonly used cruising protocol. Now, how many products are you typically calling on an individual tree? Many of us are calling saw timber and pulp. I have 1.5 logs of saw timber. I have 2 logs of pulp on top of that. You can always call more or fewer. This is simply a mechanism to automatically advance you up the tree without having to touch the screen more times than necessary. So I'm going to leave that at 2. Many of us are calling heights in the number of 16-foot logs and half logs, but particularly Lake States users might be accustomed to calling lengths in the number of sticks or bolts, and many users might need to use number of feet if they're using, say, 5-foot increments for pulp and 8-foot increments for saw timber, or potentially calling individual feet such as 8, 9, 10, 12, 16. If you call number of feet, you can make this pick list whatever you need. We'll leave it at 16-foot logs and half logs. A diameter pick list, it defaults 1-inch classes from 5 to 40. Again, you can edit that list if you use 2-inch classes, if you start at 6 inches, etc. We say next. Now, in addition to diameter, height, and product, do you need to tally additional attributes such as growing status, canopy position, cut leaf, etc.? If you do, you can say yes, and you can name that custom field. Now, usually this primary field is used for something like status, where you can call it status and you can make up a pick list. Ags, UGs, and cull was the one that I typically use, and we save that. And if you need additional fields, you can use up to 4 additional fields at a time. And again, we're working on your template here, so you can set all these things up and just leave them turned off unless you need them. And that's it. Our template is complete. So from here, we could either start a new cruise or go back home, and we'll come to another video for that. Thank you.